Hello YouTube and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program Operation Laythe. This is episode 9 and I am Southern Wolverine here with the Armstrong Lander vehicle crewed by Malger, Ordos, and Lori Kerman. And we are on our way to the moon with this new spacecraft utilizing docking ports and new solar panels and all sorts of fun things. There we go, that's where we're headed, gentlemen. So without further ado, let's just do it. Alright, so we've got our intercept plotted from last time, and we're just going to go ahead and time warp closer to it. Now this periapsis is a little bit on the high side, but we'll just go ahead and get this encounter, and then we can do a burn to bring that down. Actually, you know what? I think what I'll do, now that I'm thinking about it, is I will just circularize this. Drop the periapsis down to, let's go to the 50 to 60 kilometer range, like so. And then once I've dropped down, I can circularize this down lower. So we'll just go with what we got. It won't be quite as efficient as it could have been, but we should be fine. Alright, so remember last time we turned this around. Ooh, actually I'm going to turn the fine controls on so that we're getting a little bit of wobbling going on up here. So I'm going to put the fine controls on so that I turn this nice and slow so we don't just overstrain this docking port right here. So we do have this kind of weight out here on this spindly little end. So as you recall, we're trying to do this Apollo style, and we're really not quite doing it because we've got this whole leftover engine that they didn't really have at this stage of the mission. But hey, I'm not throwing it away. Here at Kerbal Space Program, we make use of all the random junk that we hurl into space. And by random junk, I mean highly advanced technological equipment, of course. Also things that we found in Jebediah Kerman's scrapyard. But there's very little chance that anything will go wrong, right? Right? Ah, who am I kidding? Alright, since we're maneuvering slow with this for safety reasons, I'm getting this set up nice and early, with 57 minutes to go to the burn. And we'll just fast forward in on it now that we're all set up. And it's not giving us a burn time, so I'm going to start this. It shouldn't be that long. I'm going to start it early to get a proper count. Just do a quick burn of the engine here until it gives us a proper estimate. Make sure the right engine is active. Yep. Okay, so let's give this a quick burst and see what it's going to give us. Alright, so it's telling us it's a 36-second burn. So we're going to burn at about 18 to 19 seconds prior to our node. Now, of course, the tricky stage of this mission and the new element that I haven't done in previous missions in this operation is the liftoff of the lander and the mating of it back with the command capsule. That will be a tricky maneuver. Docking is of course tricky, but the rendezvous even itself, just getting close to the target spaceship, not an easy thing to do. It's a little bit of practice, possibly a lot of practice, and sometimes just dumb luck. And it can't hurt to have extra fuel on board either, because extra fuel allows you the leeway to make mistakes and still have enough fuel to make up for those mistakes. Alright, so we've gotten our capture, and I think I'm just going to zoom this in a little bit and just do this by eyeball. I think we landed on that crater there. I think maybe we'll shoot for this one this time. This kind of neat canyon up here. first, let's get our orbit set up the way we want it. All right. Come on, turn, but don't break. Come on, you can do it, guys. We'll leave the SAS on and just get this started and let its own angular momentum whip it around. Ooh, and we got a nice Kerbal rise happening here while we're doing it. Excellent. Ooh, pretty. Alright, almost there. Almost there. Oh, and the timing's gonna work out just about right, too. And we can see our target down there. That's where we're gonna go, guys. Well, one of you's going anyway. The other two get to hang out in orbit and just hear about the fun that's being had. Alright, so let's drop this down. Just burn low throttle until we get it. Yeah, close to that one, right around 50. Come on. Come on. And done. Haha. Alright. Oh, I could keep that guy around, I suppose. Oh, you know what? Actually, I can't. I take all that back. I have to decouple this so that I can get this lander out. I did put a crewman in here before, I believe. Or did I take him back out? Are they all still in here? No, they're not still all in there. Come on. Why can't I? Okay, which one of you was in there? Yeah, okay, Lori was in there. Thought I put a guy in there. Why won't it let me pick on him? Okay. Well, in any case, let's say goodbye to this. We'll just manually decouple it. It's a shame to throw away that last bit of fuel. But, you know, whatever. You gotta do what you gotta do. Alright, we're gonna turn on the RCS just for a bit, just to give us a little bit of distance from that vehicle. And we'll turn this and point... Well, I can turn the fine controls off now. Point towards Mooner North, which means the command pod will be pointing towards Mooner South, because you remember we're still controlling from this vehicle, because I had it pointed the right direction relative to the transfer stage. In any case, we can settle in just like that, and I'll just have to manually activate these engines so that I don't get things flipped around by accident. Alright, so we are controlling from here, just to make sure. And let's, before we do anything crazy, we're here, let's go ahead and quick save. Alright, so now Lori is going to bid temporary farewell to Mulger and Ordos as he prepares to make his landing. And Mulger and Ordos won't be doing nothing. They'll be up here. They have some science to conduct, so they won't be completely bored. Yeah, they'll still be pretty bored though. They don't get to collect any cool space rocks or anything like that. So now I'm gonna go ahead and stow the panels. Stow the panels. Oh, this one didn't want to stow. Fine. Do it manually. Alright, so now what I want to do in order to land there is do a burn over here somewhere. Drop our periapsis down, maybe not quite that low, but over the top of this crater so that when we get to our periapsis we can do another burn and drop ourselves down in there. Okay. What I do have to do is I'll check my staging here. I got the engine and I have this disconnect up there, but I won't be using that disconnect until it's time. Until I've reconnected with the command capsule after we have completed our moon mission. or the landing phase of the mission anyhow. So let's just manually activate these engines. I don't want to use stages and accidentally disconnect something that shouldn't really be disconnected. Alright, now this is only a 21 meter per second burn, so this is going to be a fast burn, even with these little engines. Because while they are little engines, it's also a very small vehicle, so it shouldn't be a problem to complete this burn. So we'll fast forward to it, and get ready to make our second moon landing. I can't imagine this is going to be more than a 5, maybe 10-second burn at the most. So we'll just come right up to it. This isn't super precise anyway, we're just sort of trying to get in the vicinity of our target, and then we'll clean it up on the descent stage. Alright, that's coming down nicely. And stop. Alright, there we go. Hardly touched the fuel, so we should have plenty to do our mission. Yay. Alright, we'll just leave these solar panels retracted, I think, for now. And we'll come back and deploy them once we're on the surface. We got some batteries on there, we should have plenty of electric charge. All we're really running is the capsule torque off of that, so it shouldn't be a problem. So we'll come right to about here. Spin this little guy around. These little mini landers do maneuver quite readily. Hopefully with the solid SAS authority, given its mass and its RCS capability, we should be able to land this without any of the excitement we had last time. That was excitement is always bad when you're attempting a landing like that. It usually means something has gone horribly wrong. Alright, let's start killing our velocity off. And we'll try to pick out a spot that's not too rough. As you saw last time, one of the reasons we had the trouble on our previous moon landing was because, well, we landed on a slope. So we really want to stay out of these, either land in the middle of one of these craters or land in between them. Reducing our risk of landing on a nasty slope like that. So let's see, maybe if I keep burning I can maybe drop in here, or maybe even cut it all the way down to here. Nah, I think we'll go for this position. Alright, let's get a visual on this, see how the landing area looks. Okay, so we're coming down. Oh, we can land short of these two craters. That'll be pretty decent. We'll be in this area. Looks like there's a little bit of slope action going on right where that is. But we should be coming down. By the time we finished all our velocity kill burns, we should come down south and west of that feature. Alright, Lori, deploy the gear. I always have to hit the button twice for some reason. I'm just going to let it fall for a bit and reactivate the engines when we get a little closer. Slightly concerned about the fuel situation. Well, we'll just have to wait and see what happens. If I can even just get to, I was intending to fly this back up and use these engines to encounter and dock with the command capsule, but I always do it the other way around if I have to, if I have just barely enough fuel to get to orbit or something like that. As long as I can get this back to orbit, I can get the command capsule to come meet up with it. I think it'd be a little bit more efficient to maneuver this around because it is lighter. Okay, alright, we're not slowing down as quickly as I might have hoped for, so we're gonna just let it go all out. Okay, now that's come down. Alright, so we're going to look for our shadow, which should be a little through there. Yep, there it is. I think. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Started going back up. That's the last thing I want to do. Okay, yeah, the sun is damn near above us, so yeah, there probably is our shadow there. It's good. This it looks a little bit rough, but I think that's just a texture. I don't think that's actually going to put us in serious danger on our landing. This looks relatively flat. And I will activate the RCS just before touching down, just to help us stay stable in case it is a little bit sloped. Oop, coming a little fast, coming in a lot fast. Alright, there we go. Alright, that's better. Yeah, 3 or 4 meters per second, not 30 or 40. Alright, let's put the RCS on, and we'll just let the manual or the automatic control take over. There we go. Okay, RCS off, SAS off. It occurs to me this ladder is going to be way longer than it needs to be. Oh no, I did put the short one on there. Okay, so we're okay. We're not going to drill it into the surface or anything. Let's go ahead and deploy our solar panels, and that one still isn't linked. No, whatever. Alright, here we are back on the surface of the moon. So we're going to go ahead and observe the mystery goo and do all our fun science. Keeping the data, observe, keep the data, crew report, record the crew's assessment. Yay, exciting. I could use a few more of those sort of witty science anecdotes, sort of, you want to call them. Alright, Lori, now it's time for the fun part, sir. Whoa! Unfortunately, the gravity's not very dangerous from just falling. Alright, plant your flag. Oh wait, what is this area called? I didn't even notice. Here, let's cancel that for a second. Take the surface sample. Far side crater. Let's take that down so we can put it back up. Oh wait, can I not do it? Oh no, there we go. It's back. We do want to keep this marked, so if we do another science mission, we don't come back here and waste our time landing in the same place. Far side crater landing site. And we're not worried about the plaque. Okay, so we'll take our EVA report. We already got, and we'll get our, oh, well, what does the surface sample say? There are large concentrations of melted byproducts here. Some appear to be formed by intense pressures and heat. Keep the data. Okay, now having exhausted what we can do here without a rover to go running around with, we'll just hop back inside. And on our way up, we'll use this other Science Junior. You know what, I think we'll just use that in orbit. I think we'll use this other Observe Mystery Goo on the way up. Okay, so now I'm going to do another quick save, because this is going to be the tricky part. This is the rendezvous. So what I want to do is we'll leave him on the moon and fast forward for a while and go as we go around in circles. And we'll want this to be slightly before us, so it'll take us some time to get up some altitude. Here, I'm going to go ahead and set it as the target, so that as I launch, I'll be able to see, you know, my inclination difference, my ascending and descending nodes, and try to stay on target. We should be more or less directly underneath the orbit because we didn't do any turning off to one side or the other. So we're going to launch in such a way that this is going to pass over us as we're launching. Alright, so we're going to go right about now. And as it's going to pass over us, we will then get into a lower orbit than it is, thus be going faster, and we will basically catch up to it. Oh, that was the wrong one. Oh, damn. Alright, how are we doing? Let's pop that fuel back up just in case. Oh no, we're doing just fine. And our ascending node isn't looking great. see if we can bring that down. I think we need to go this way a little bit. Nope, don't give me the target. I still need to see my orbit. Alright, I might have mistimed this. Well, one way or another we'll figure out a way to get an encounter. Let's just get into orbit here first. Okay, so we got up here. Should have plenty of fuel. I don't know what I was worried about. Oh, it's actually giving us an encounter or a close approach. Oh, here, maybe we can do this in one shot. Get a close approach. See, that's not terribly close. 19 kilometers. It's not terrible, but it's not as good as we might like. Ooh, can I get this? This would be really great if I could get this in one maneuver. Perhaps if we do one of these numbers. 21 kilometers. 13. Nope, that's making it worse. Well, still after their second encounter, that looks pretty good. So we might just actually go with that. We'll have to wait an extra loop around, but that's maybe not a big deal. I mean, we're just going to fast forward it anyway. And these orbits around the moon are quite fast in any case. Alright, so 14-second burn. We're going to have plenty of fuel. Coming up here, we're going to burn at about 15. As per the usual, except I fast forward past it, like I do. Just wouldn't be Kerbal Space Program if everything went exactly to plan. Staying right on the blue marker. Yay, with the burning. These little engine plumes are kind of funny, they're so small. Alright, this one we do want to be quite precise about because we're trying to get this encounter that it's plotted for us. So I'm going to make this little correction as it shoots off to the side. Try to stay precisely as this burn was plotted. Because a minor difference now could make a fairly big difference in our encounter in 23 minutes. Alright, of course, and even for NASA, this was the... they ran a whole mission, or really a pair of missions, I suppose, to do an encounter test before they ever attempted the Saturn V missions, because they knew that would be a critical step. And the first one, they didn't even dock. They just sort of flew along next to each other in order to practice their orbital plotting, or their, intercept maneuvering. And something strange happened there, because I seem to have gotten things mixed up now. That's annoying. Well, here, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm going to stop recording. I'm going to get a proper intercept plotted out, and I will be back. Alright, so we're back. I just did another quick burn, a sort of shootout past the orbit of our command capsule, so that slowed us down, and now we're kind of falling back past it. It's still a 4-kilometer distance as we approach, which isn't ideal, but we've got more than enough fuel to make up the difference. And this is a nice light vehicle. We got plenty of RCS fuel. We'll be able to walk it in just fine. So we're going to go ahead and stow our landing gear, though. And I'm going to fast forward to get a little closer to this intercept. And we'll see just what we have to do. So let's get within a minute here. Now, see, we're actually right at 5 kilometers or so now. It's kind of hard to see there right in the sun, but that's where it is. So now you see we're in target mode, so our velocity vectors are expressed relative to the target. It's very useful because it means we need to know exactly which direction to go to kill our velocity relative to our target. Okay, so we're going to just go ahead and try to kill that velocity now. Not a lot of difference in our relative velocity, so that's good news. I'm just going to get that down to something approaching 0, like that. Alright, so now you see the orbits are just about on top of each other, but not quite. We're still 4 kilometers away from our friends in the other capsule. So we'll just point at them and burn, even though this is going to put us on an orbit. Oh, I pointed the wrong way. I was pointing at the opposite vector. Oh, brilliant. Brilliant! There we go. Alright. So we're just trying to get our velocity vector in yellow there, lined up with our target, our vector to target, the purple circle and dot. And try to close this distance. Okay, so now you see it's giving us a new close intercept of 400 meters in 2 minutes. So we're going to fast forward until we see this get close to that. Then we'll correct again. Actually, you know what? I got plenty of RCS, so I think what I'll do is I'll just fast forward a little bit of time and correct on the fly. So there we go. So that ought to refine our intercept. Oh yeah, see that did quite a bit. Just that little bit of adjustment. Let's get the RCS turned off. Okay, we're getting in close now. So we want to turn the fast forwarding off, because we got 30 meters per second of velocity to kill off again. Preferably before we smack into the other spacecraft. Most unfortunate way to end a mission. Alright, so that's a little more reasonable approach speed. And we'll just try to settle in nice and close to it. Take up station nearby. And then we will do our approach purely on RCS. Oh, and while we're in space, let's just do a quick observation there. Oh, we must have already done this one. Oh well. Alright, just doing little burns just so that we're slowing down. Of course, the docking port on the command pod is facing the other direction, but we can just switch to that vehicle and turn it around, so that's not really a big deal. Alright. Slowing it down. And park it. Yeah! Alright. Alright, so we're just going to point this down at... Whoa, whoa, come on. You can do it. Screw it, just use RCS. There we go. We're just going to point this south at the other vehicle. Switch to the other vehicle. Turn it around to the north. Whoa, 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 whoa. A little oversteer. Alright. So we're going to set that docking port as the target. Now we're just going to go on RCS. So we're going to give it a little burst. Ooh, a little bit less of a burst. Alright, I'm going to turn on fine control so we don't oversteer. So fine controls also applies to your RCS thrusters, even when used in linear mode. It's a little hard to see what we're doing here since our nav ball's kind of getting in the way. That'll help a little. So we're just going to take our time. Just do a little bit of a fast forward here to get close. Okay, let's correct this back the other way a little bit. Alright, so we want that all three of these markers to be lined up. The vector, the pointing, and the vector to target. And we want to approach nice and slow, because the last thing we want to do is ram into it and damage one or both vehicles. Because if we could knock off a docking port or something like that, that would kind of be a disaster. Alright, and here we go. And we have a hard dock. Hooray! Or soft dock, or whatever, some kind of docking. Cool. Now we're all joined up together. Alright. So I'm going to do my little EVA to collect my science. No need to film that, I suppose. And I will be back in a few moments, back in the command capsule and ready to eject the lander stage. Alright, we're back with all our science and safely stored in the command pods, and we are ready to get rid of our faithful lander. After we make a quick check that all the science has been collected. And I guess I didn't really even need to collect that because it was on the pod. In any case, goodbye, fair lander. You've served us well, but we don't need you anymore. Bye-bye. Okay. And now, that will be a permanent space monument to this mission. I have no intention of coming here and clearing the debris out. I might do a little cheat and detonate the debris from Kerbal, because apparently we built, self-destruct devices into all these things. We can do that sort of thing. Oh, that was actually convenient. That was, I guess I've done this enough times I can kind of eyeball those maneuvers. But that'll drop us right back where we want to go. Back home. We're going to just manually activate this engine again so we don't accidentally stage things that aren't supposed to be staged yet. And we're getting ready for our trip back to Kerbal. And we're going to try with one of these mystery goo containers to take a mystery goo reading from high over the moon, because I don't think I have that one yet. Of course, I could go check the Kerbal Space Center, but what's the fun of that? Because, of course, we now have a record of all the science we've done in the Kerbal Space Center, which is very nice, so we don't run duplicates. However, I've got those extra capsules, so I'm just going to try it on the way out, because I got nothing else to do with them anyway. Alright. Main engine burning. Goodbye to our lander. Goodbye. Oh, and you can see even back there, even the debris of that, the other stage, the transfer stage. Oh, there we go. Camera changed. We're leaving orbit. Lunar orbit, anyway. Cut the throttle, damn you. Alright, that'll do the job. Farewell, Moon. We have enjoyed visiting thee once more. This game does look nice. These cool, dramatic space shots. Especially when you get a nice silhouette with the sun. Very cool. Be interesting to see what more they continue to add as this continues on its development. Of course, this is still version 0.23. I'm sure there will be many more versions before this is considered a complete game. And even then, oh, that's kind of a shot with the moon in silhouette there in our spacecraft. I like that. Screenshot. Save that one for later. Alright. Now let's go do our science before we leave moon orbit here and see if we can't get another batch. Yeah, 30. Alright. Nothing wrong with that. Now let's get... Who hasn't done an EVA? Let's get Mulger out. Whoa, and he's tumbling around. Alright. Of course I use the one that's on the far side of the spacecraft. Couldn't make this easy on myself. What would be the fun of that? Alright. So go, get your science. For the good of all Kerbal kind and so forth and whatnot. Okay, here we go. Whip back around the spacecraft. And try not to float off into space. We have plenty of room for everyone to come home. Actually, you know what, while we're out here, let's do a quick EVA report. We record our observations. Okay. Board. And we can probably do a crew report also. 15. Okay, whatever. I'll take it. Every little bit helps. And back to the fast forwarding. Alright, we're just going to come and get our approach ready. Whoa, haha. That was a little faster of a forward than I meant to do. Alright, let's turn this bad boy around, get ready for re-entry. Now, I have not, I admit, attempted a re-entry quite like this one before, with a second pod tacked on top of the one that has the parachutes. I'm going to keep the SAS fired up as I make this landing, because the one thing I'm worried about with this approach is that it's going to try to flip over on me. I'm not sure if the center of gravity, or the center of mass of these two assembled capsules is below these chutes. So I'm a little bit concerned about it flipping over. And if it lands on top of this, things are going to break. I'm pretty sure that can't take the impact of the weight of this other capsule coming down on top of it. We could stow the solar panels so that they don't come flying off in the atmosphere, but I think it looks cool when they come flying off, so we're just going to leave it. Alright, the music stopped, we're back in the atmosphere. So, we got almost this whole freaking stage left. This was not the most efficiently planned missions in terms of fuel, but we'll just burn it up on the way back. If anybody in the press asks, this was our mission profile from the start. So, mum's the word. Whatever the hell that expression means. And we're burning. We're burning, and we are definitely coming home. There's definitely a landmass over here somewhere, but this is the big ocean. So we should come down once we get into the deep atmosphere, into the water. So that'll make a safer landing site. So we don't have to worry about it landing and then rolling and doing other such unfortunate things. Seems like every version we get of this, the water looks better and better. So we can see these kind of ripples and stuff going on in here. We see the reflection of the sun off of the ocean. Very cool. Alright, so we're just going to let the atmosphere do the rest of the work. We don't really need to burn that engine anymore. In fact, we didn't really need to burn it to begin with. Oh, there goes the solar panels. Oh. Oh well. Meanwhile, they're in the capsule, and Monica's going, hey, Ordos, did you remember to retract the solar panels? Oh, I'm sure I did that. What kind of idiot would forget to retract the solar panels? Ooh, pretty. It's like a second sun. Alright, once we're in a little deeper into the mesosphere, I believe it's called, the low atmosphere, we're just going to go ahead and get rid of this and be prepared to make our final entry. Boom! Alright, so now we got nothing left but the 3 chutes to activate. Whoa, okay, yeah, see the weight distribution on this thing's a little bit weird. So I'm just going to keep this thing manually pointed up. Or slightly off vertical towards our anti-velocity as we make our landing. And I could turn the lights on to make it a little bit cooler, but it's going to burn our electric charge down a little faster. And I want to make sure we have enough SAS to keep this thing stable through landing. Now we're getting nice and low. Let's go ahead and use the chutes and see what we get. Okay. So it looks like in combination with SAS that should be able to hold steady. So we gotta fast forward down to our, whoa, let's not do that anymore. Note to self, no maneuvering while in 3 times speed. Alright, here's the moment of truth. 500 meters. Okay, good. Whew. It held. If it was gonna flip, that was the moment it was gonna do it. So now we're good to make our landing. And they're having a little party. Look at Lori dancing. He loves it. We're back. I'm a hero. I brought back moon rocks. Although we're going to have to hide them from Bob, because Bob likes to take them as souvenirs. There we go. Safe landing. with one upside down capsule. Lori's gonna have a fun time getting out of there. But in any case, we will just recover the vessel and see how much science we gathered. 441. Alright. It's not bad. I think that'll get us what we were looking for. So, let's quick pop to the Science Center. And I think last time we figured out we can get around, we don't really need these mainsails. I can use those side engines to make the skippers effectively like the mainsails. And this little guy would be nice for an interplanetary mission, but not critical. I think what we really want is the nuclear propulsion, because that makes those interplanetary missions need so much less fuel. So look at the efficiency on this bad boy. 800 specific impulse in a vacuum. That's easily twice as good as any of the other liquid fuel engines. So we're going to go ahead and grab that and get prepared for our first interplanetary mission, which will probably be to Duna, but we'll figure that out next time and start testing spacecraft. But that will be for the next episode. So, once again, thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I am Southern Wolverine, and I am signing off from the Kerbal Space Center.